Hello, truth seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, if you're seeking true freedom, freedom from your fear, freedom from the inner conflict, then you gotta stop being part of the silence practice. You gotta stop being part of the quiet practice. Why? Because it doesn't work, and you know it's not working. If it's working, then it's working in a way to run away from your situation or run away from yourself, isn't it? In that sense, it's working. But it's not working to be free from your fear. And you know that you are not able to eliminate your fear for good. And that's the sign that it's not working. Waking up to the truth of who you are or enlightenment journey is not about silencing yourself. It's about facing the noise and why the noise is bothering you and why you're resisting the noise. That's the process. Now, the noise is the mind, isn't it? Mind creates a drama. Mind creates a conflict. Mind creates fear. And to be free from the mind, we have to face it, not running away from it. And right now, what you're doing is you're trying to quiet yourself by controlling the body, by controlling the mind, isn't it? When you're controlling the body, when you're controlling the mind, you're fighting with yourself. And the fight is not a silence. The fight is not being quiet. It against opposite of silence. So drop the fight and start investigating the mind. And that's the way to be free from the mind. And notice, beside controlling the body and mind, when you are being part of the silence practice, you are organizing the mind. You're thinking and organizing. That is also not a silence practice, isn't it? Yes, you are being you're alone, away from the outer noise, but the noise is continuing inside. That's not truly a silence practice. And there is no silence practice, by the way. You cannot run away from your mind, and you cannot run away from the world. You exist in the noise, and we have to be okay with the noise and how to get not affected with the noise. And self-inquiry is the way to get there. That's the process. So if you see what I'm saying, then we can reorient ourselves and start facing the reality, the outer reality, and also reorient ourselves to face who we are towards that direction. Every noise we face and resist is a chance to be free from the noise. But every time the noise is there, when we are bothered by the noise, we entertain ourselves with something else. And right now, the spiritual world got a lot of stuff can distract you away from the noise, isn't it? Think about the meditation. What's happening in the meditation? Are you facing yourself, or are you running away from yourself? And most of the time, again, we are all running away from ourselves. We are running away from the noise that is bothering us. Yes, definitely we can run, we can even hide, But running and hiding doesn't solve the mental problem. By the way, you can never hide from your mind. You can never run away from your mind. Wherever you run, your mind goes with you. Wherever you hide, the mind is still there. Running and hiding can work in the relative world. From the world you can run and hide, but you cannot run and hide from yourself, because the mind is constantly there. You cannot run away from the mind, and that's the fact. So, if you see your silence practice is not working, I invite you to be part of the self-inquiry practice and ask yourself why you seek silence practice, why you're aligning with the silence practice. There's a reason to align with the silence practice, isn't it? Why? Because you are stimulated with the noise. And when the stimulation gets too much, then we seek for the silence. We try to avoid the noise. And we do back and forth. And back and forth doesn't dissolve a fear. The back and forth is only helping you to rearrange your thoughts. And true freedom is not about rearranging your thought. It's about dissolving all thoughts. The only reason you see the value of the silence practice is because through the silence practice, the forceful silence practice, you are organizing yourself in the body and mind. And when you see the result from that practice, you value that practice, you continue that practice. But if you think that is the way to be free from your mind, then that is simply a fantasy. It's a hopeless hope, leads you nowhere. And when you prolong this silence practice, you are conditioning yourself with that. And when you are conditioned to the silence practice, then when the message comes towards you to let go the silence practice, then you start to reject the message. And right now is that message from me to you. If you have been part of silence practice, notice you're gonna, mentally reject what I'm saying. And if the rejection is coming there, great, because that's the way to see the ego fighting with the identification. The silence practice is the identification, isn't it? One of the routine that is positive. And my message is get rid of the routine, and that is coming as from me to you, coming as a fight. And notice, when you are being part of the silence practice for long enough, you're conditioned to that. And every time you face the conflict, what do? You step into that world, because that world is giving you a relief from the noise. Again, what is that? That is simply running away from the world, the people, and running away from yourself. And what is making you run away from yourself is because you are missing out the truth of who you are. When the truth is missing, we end up running, we end up hiding, we end up resisting, we end up controlling. And pretty much our life is like that right now. We cannot let things be, isn't it? We're always getting affected by the noise here and there. We're always getting triggered by the noise, especially when something coming towards us to trigger our preference, to fluctuate our routine, to fluctuate our belief. We fight back. We become defensive. Now the noise is out. And all this happening because, simply not seeing who we are. And in the beginning I asked if you want a true freedom, or if you want to see who you are, then you got to investigate the noise. Why am I bothered by the noise, rather than ignoring the noise by controlling the body and mind. Controlling the body and mind is a failure. It's a constant effort that leads you nowhere. It's effort that only prolongs the fight. And spirituality is not about fighting. Spirituality is about investigating the fight. The fight is the noise. So we must face the noise. Noise means face the mind. And that's the only way to be truly free. Freedom from the mind, freedom from the fear. So investigating the mind is the way to get there, my friend. So I hope this video makes sense to you to some extent. Think about it. And if this makes sense, and do the work, get rid of the silence and start being part of the self-inquiry. Make a small effort every day. There's always some scenarios happening in our lives as friction, as a frustration, as hate, as a fear. There's all sort of thing resurface as a fight, and that is the opportunity to face the noise. Facing the noise is to dissolve the noise. Okay. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks for your support so far. Take care for now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.